Good morning and welcome to episode 2 of my podcast, Toria's Cozy Toes. I'm Vicky, I'm a knitter and crocheter living in Derby in the United Kingdom. And welcome back if you're joining me for the second time. Oh, hi if you're new and it's the first time you found me here. As I say, it's only the second episode, so yeah, a little bit of admin first, where you can find me. I'm Toria's Cozy Toes on Instagram, or I'm also on Ravelry as Vicky the Terror, which is an old name. So I'm really sorry, there seemed to be a bit of a glitch with how I set YouTube up last time, and I failed to sign comments on. Hopefully I've sorted that this time. If not, please bear with me because I'm still new at this. So what am I wearing today? You can just see the top of this. It's the Pressed Flower cardigan by Savory Knitting. I knit this last year. It was my birthday cast on. The main colour is a grey Rowan yarn. It's actually discontinued now. And the colours are from part of the Discreet Unicorn Advent from last year. As everyone says, it's my Advent. I can do what I want with it. And I actually opened this Advent as a birthday countdown to my birthday in November, because I wanted to choose and make sure that I got the right colours for this cardigan, because I knew what I wanted to do. So I just have a stand up. Sorry, I'm a bit close. You can just see how the cardigan fades from the green all the way up through the blues and purples to the pinks at the top. And then there's just a little bit of orange at the top of the sleeve before it goes down into the other colours. So the coloured bit, each flower is a separate colour from the Advent. On the body, on the arms, so the sleeve, he starts with one colour here. No, here, sorry, it's first colour. These two are a whole colour. These 3 flowers, then there's 4 colours in those. And then as I come down, I'm just going to bend my arm because it's a bit easier to show you. These all have 2 colours per flower. And that's purely because of the amount of yarn I had left. I held my 4-ply Advent double and did it in double knitting. So required a little bit of swatching before I'd started. But yeah, it worked really well. I'm really pleased with it. I wear it quite a lot. Being mosaic knitting, it's actually quite a warm cardigan, which is nice. It gives me that layer. And I honestly do have plans to knit at least one more of them. In fact, I actually bought some 4-ply navy blue for the base colour for another one. So yeah. But anyway, let's get on to what I've been working on over the last 2 weeks. So since I last saw you, I've got 2 finished objects and a few new whips that I've worked on and a few new cast-ons. So first of all, what have I finished? I finished 2 things. So I finished the neck warmer that I was making for my mum. So it's just a little scarf. This butterfly is where I was last time. The idea is, it's not for me, so it looks hard more me. Goes round, tucks round, and just tucks in, which is what my mum wants for a present for a friend. This one is in King Cotton Soft. It is in some scraps, basically. It was leftovers from my sister's blanket that I showed last time. And I just, sort of colour my mum's friend likes. Did talk to my mum last week. She wants it for Christmas, so I've got a bit of time to do a few more for her. And my mum having tried on about another inch before I put the slot through to pop it through. The other thing I finished is my January socks, which I am entering in the Socks and You Know It Knit Along run by Amanda at Little Lycac Yarn. And her aim is to knit a pair of socks. You've got 2 months to enter each and to knit your pair of socks. But my goal is to knit a pair every month. And to also, although Amanda's knit along is to knit a pair of adult socks, I also want to knit a pair of children's socks as well from the same yarn. One, to reduce the amount of scraps I get left, but also, as I said last time, my younger niece loves her hand knitted socks. So I'd love to have a box of socks for her for next Christmas. So first of all, we've got my adult pair. You can just see them there. So say these were last time. I just had the second toe to do. And I've done that and they're complete. I do need to get some pictures of them to put them into Amanda's knit along. But then I also have, and these are my wonderful handmade blockers, little children's pair. They don't match, my niece won't care. And it was a case of making sure I had enough yarn to actually finish them. I can't remember. Yes, I can. They go like that. So if I had decided to wind off for the second one, I would have had to wind off all the way down to beyond the heel to start the sock. I don't honestly think I had enough yarn to do that. So these are both in Yarn Smith's yarn. The merino sock colourway is there. And as you can see, I've written at the bottom, I had 11 grams. Just 11 grams left from that 100 gram ball. And the colourway is called Tutti Frutti. They don't put the names onto the ball band, which is a bit annoying, really. So that's the two things projects I managed to finish. Both of those were actually part of my 12 cast-ons. So yeah, 2 of the 12 are done. Just 10 more to go. That's everything else. So then what have I actually worked on? A lot of my time knitting has been working on my secret project. As I said, my local yarn shop, Chris's Crafts, have a competition every year to knit between November and the 28th of February. Obviously, you don't knit it at the shop. You don't tell them what you're doing. So I am working on that. I'm about halfway through that. However, I have realised that I now have 2 weeks to finish it. So then there's an awful lot of work to do on it as well. So that's going to have to be my priority over the next week to 10 days. I'm hoping I can really blitz it and get it done. If I don't, I'll show you where I'm up to next time, because by that point we'll know whether or not I've actually achieved that. I have worked on a couple of other projects. So I was on Zoom and I finished the socks and needed some really simple knitting. So I did do about 1 inch. So from this marker here, just up on this hat. This is a really simple hat. I'm deliberately making it a really heavy, dense fabric by holding a double knit and an alpaca together on slightly smaller needles than I normally would for that fabric, because I want a really thick hat. Not 100% certain if that's going to be for me or for a present. So it's a bit of a mixture of things. I suspect it'll be for me, because I suspect I will use it for open water swimming, which is one of the reasons for having a really thick, dense hat to wear. Because if it gets cold when the cold weather comes, and you need a warm hat. Where I open water swim locally, actually have rules that you have to wear a hat. It's supposed to be quite brightly coloured. This one, let's be honest, it's not the brightest colour in the world, but I might just find a bright tassel or pom-pom to put onto it. Or, yeah, something just to brighten it up. So, yes, so I've been worked a bit on that. It's about just over 2 inches of that done. I need about 8 inches from the bottom of the top of the rib to the top of the stockings net. So it's about 6 inches to go. Might take it to knit group today, just because, again, if I can get it done, it's another one project done, another relatively quick win. I honestly do feel at the moment I've got too many projects on the go, having cast all 12 on. So I'm trying to get a few off the needles, because if I can get some things off the needles, then I will feel more comfortable with everything, is my thinking. The other project I've been working on is not something I've shown you before, and it's my Advent project that I made with my Mouse Witch yarn Advent from last year, or I'm making. So the Advent was the adventure around the UK, and we had 6 colours for each of the 4 countries in the United Kingdom. And I decided to make a crochet blanket, and it's the Yorkshire crochet blanket I'm making. So during Advent, obviously I was knitting the cardigan, and a lot of my time was spent on the cardigan, but there were times when I blocked the body before I put the sleeves on, so I couldn't work on it. So I started working on this, and during Advent I managed to make 6 squares. So there's 1, these haven't been blocked yet, 2, so don't necessarily look the best, 3, there's 4, 5, 6, and those 6 are all England. And I also made the 7th square. I'm going to find it. The last one I made was this one, which is actually the first Wales square. And there's a reason why I've done that. So, as I said, the blanket is the Yorkshire blanket by Meema Makes, and it was initially released as a knit along. It's now an amazing crochet pattern. I'm a very good basic crocheter. I haven't done anything complicated. And certainly squares, I can do squares 1 and 2. Square 3, I learned things. 4, 5 and 6 really pushed me at times to learn more, which has been brilliant because it's what I needed from something like this. So I want to set my blanket up so I have the 4 quarters of the 4 countries. So I want to have England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales. Because of the way the colour squares come out, I want to do 1 to 6, which are England, 7 to 12 being Northern Ireland, but then 7 to 12 also being Scotland under England, and Wales, which would be directly opposite to England, which is actually the end of the Advent, being 1 to 6 again. Because of, by the time I finished England, I was already opening 19, 20, 21. I decided to start with Wales and redo the first 6, just to cement the skills that I'd learned during the first bit of the Advent. So I'd got 7 done. This week, when I've just needed something a little bit different, I just need something different. Normally at the end of the evening, I've done quite a bit of the secret knitting, or I've done the toe of a sock. I just needed something different. So I've managed to complete square. This will be number 7 I've done. Number 8 I've done, sorry. But it's day 20 on the Advent and it's Snowdon. And then I'm currently working on cardigan, I know what it is. Day 21 of the Advent, which is Swallow Falls, which is here. And as you can see, I'm currently partway through this square. So I really want to get on with this blanket. I know the secret knitting's got to be a priority. So I've set myself a couple of goals. One of the first things I'm going to do is actually block the 6 England squares, because they need blocking before I join them together. This pattern holds your hand through the whole thing, and it does tell you to do that. So I'm going to get those squares blocked, because once they're blocked, I can look at joining them into a panel of 6 joined squares. I'm also going to concentrate on finishing off 6 Wales squares and getting those blocked. In about 4 weeks' time, I'm going away on a retreat weekend with some friends. We're just going away to stay together, knit, crochet, chat, drink, eat, have fun. And I'm kind of thinking I'd really like to have all of England blocked ready, all of Wales done, and hopefully blocked, but if I haven't, it's not the end of the world. So that while I'm away, I can hopefully do the rest of the squares. Some of my friends are much better crocheters than me, so if I do get stuck, they can help. And also join the first 6 squares together, possibly the second 6 if I get the Wales ones blocked before I go as well, because I think that will give me the incentive then to carry on during March and get this blanket finished. I would love to have this finished by the end of March, and that's really a good goal for me. So blocking the first 6 squares, working on the next ones. That's the goal for that project. And as I say, it started in December last year, which means if I can get it done by the end of March, I can enter it in the Topping Out Mal, which is run by Belinda of Belinda's Baubles and Mandy from the Mouses Makes podcast as well. So those are the 2 current whips that I've picked up this week. As I said last time I recorded, I still had a couple of cast-ons to do for my 12 cast-ons for 2025, and I did those over that weekend. The first one was a blanket for a friend of mine who is now 20 weeks pregnant, so got a bit of a deadline. She hasn't yet, so she has found out now what it is, but hasn't announced it to anyone apart from her stepdaughter, because she's having a bit of a reveal with families this weekend. So this is the Cotton Soft in the silver and white, and is going to be the ultralight baby blanket, as you can see, I've done the base triangles and I've done the first row of grey. It's come out a little bit wider than I kind of thought it would on cast on, but that's fine because I'll make this the length of the blanket and I'll just work up the width. I finished the grey squares last weekend when I was away at Mum's, so the plan is to, yeah, again, that is very much, it can be a knitting group project because it is just sit and work on it. So I suspect I will get the hat finished, then that'll become my knit group go-to project, particularly on a Saturday when it's at the shop and I can't take the secret knitting. It also might be something I take on the weekend away. It might not, because I might kind of go, I've got the crochet, I want something a bit more thinking, knitting wise, but we'll see. The other project I still had to cast on was the Tessello cowl, which is by Nici Griffin, who's Beanie Boat. So this is the picture of the cowl. I have actually printed the pattern. This doesn't tell you anything about the pattern on this page, but that's the actual cowl. And I was using the mixture of mini skeins I'd got in a secret mini skein set from the Yarn Badger, along with a undyed neutral which contains some yak. Today's light, it's looking a little bit browner, but that's the first two colours in. As I said last time, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with the colours, and I've decided that I'm going to change every zigzag through the 5 colours and just repeat them until I run out of yarn. It does require a provisional cast on. Now, what I actually use for my provisional cast on, you can just see some try it on tubing here at the bottom. I tend to do a version of Judy's Magic cast on, which is designed to toe up socks, which gives you this beautiful knitted row, and the stitches are already live on my try on tubing, so I don't have to undo and pick up from a crochet cast on version. I do that, and sometimes have done that really well and successfully, but I have found this more recently, and definitely more recently do this more, because as I say, I find it just much easier when it comes to knitting the next bit, and it kind of incentivizes me a bit more. So I've done that one. I have got 2 more cast ons. I know I said I wasn't casting a lot more on. The first one is another scarf from my mum's friend. So I'd finished the socks. I was going out on the 31st of January, meeting up with a friend. And obviously, for January, I didn't want to start my February socks. And I needed something in my handbag. And the hat was really just a little bit big for a handbag because it's got the 2 chains. So I did a bit of a sash dive. Oh, sorry, I've caught that on my microphone. I hope it's not too bad on the sound. I was aware the sound last time was quite quiet, so I'm just trying a microphone today. So this is it. As I say, it is a variegated yarn. It's there. I'll be honest, it's probably going to sit in my knitting pile of stuff, and it will be a case of when I'm looking for something simple to take out with me, I will pick it up and take it if I haven't got anything else. As I say, Mum doesn't want them till December. Well, ideally I'd like to have them done so she's got them September time, just so she's got them and they're out my house. But she wants 3 or 4 of them. I have got quite a bit of this yarn, but obviously don't want to make more than one of these. However, I may do some fingerless mitts that just slip on to go with them because, yeah, my mum's friend has problems with her hands and struggles to get gloves and things on. So it's something she can do. My final cast on was my socks for the socks, and you know it, this long. This was my February socks. Now I actually have 1 marks on there, finished sock. Again, very much because I was up at Mum's last weekend. I can't take everything with me. I take minimal projects. My sister lives quite close to my mum, so on Saturday first we were actually round at my sister's quite a lot during the day and even into the evening because we all tend to eat together there. A sock is a brilliant project to take something small, grabbable. So this yarn, let me grab it out because I think is here. So West Yorkshire spinners. My second sock I've cast on and done, not even done one round of rib. I've joined it and done a needle. Bear in mind I'm using magic loop. So yeah, really not done very much with my second sock. I just got it cast on so it could be in my handbag again. So yes, so it's a West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. It is one of the Yarndale colours. So it's actually Brenda. Let me just see there. You can see I've written on it. She was the 2024 colourway, which is actually the year I went to Yarndale. So I went to the first 3 ever Yarndales, which was great and I enjoyed them. However, at the time, I was also going to Woolfest with friends up in the Lake District most years and just felt that it was all a bit too much and I reined things back. Didn't go to Yarndale for quite a number of years. And then last year was the first year I went in 9 years, which was good. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't necessarily go again this year. I would have another break because I think you get more from it. And in fact, I've actually said this year, I am not going to any yarn shows. Hopefully I'll manage to hold on to that. But my plan is not to do any this year, to have a complete break. Just because I know that I need to use some of my stuff, work through stuff. But you say this has actually been made, it's probably about 7.5, 8 sock. I have made it a bit bigger. I have actually done a vanilla sock this time, which is really rare for me because I tend to find vanilla socks slip down. I'm not a big fan of them. My normal one is something like I did on my Tutti Frutti ones, which you can just see. I'm just about to say, I'll bring this one back in. It's got a 3-1 rib on the leg, and that's just because I like a bit of grip from my leg. But so this is going in my present box. So yeah, I've done it as a vanilla. Kind of got someone in mind depending on how big it's come up. But we'll say one of my friends loves hand knit socks, and it's a few years since she's had a lot. She had 1 pair last year. But yeah, if it fits, she may well have those because I know that she'll be looking at them going, like those, because she likes a lot of what I knit. So yeah, that's what I've cast on. Just a little bit of stuff. Now, as I said, I was meeting my friend on Friday, who she lives up near my mum, and we'd agreed to meet for lunch. And I just said to her, "Where do you want to meet? You know, it's your choice. You're local." And she'd heard me talk about Black Sheep Wool, which is close to where my mum lives, and I'd been there before. And she said, "Oh, I'd love to meet at the yarn shop." I'm like, "You're not a knitter, you're not a crafter." No, but I've heard people talk about it. I want to meet there. I know they've got a cafe. Okay. So we met at Black Sheep Wools. Now, this was dangerous. This was really dangerous for my bank balance because they had a sale on. So I came away with a little bag of stuff. Sorry, it's right at the end of the safe because I put stuff in order. So the first thing I picked up was this Zandra Rhodes colourway by West Yorkshire Spinners in their signature 4-ply sock. This was on sale. So yeah, this was on sale. It was a little bit of a bargain. I love my socks. I love knitting my socks. I love self-striping. It's got purples and pinks in it. What more do you love? I know looking at it there, it's got quite a lot of yellow, but if you turn it around, you can see there's more purples and pinks. I was like, yeah, that's got to come home with me just because it's the right colours for me. That was the first thing. Then we went round the corner and they had yarn packs reduced. Now, what I'm going to do is show you this first. So this is the first one I saw. I loved it. It is all slightly variegated yarn, so although it looks different colours, it's all the same dye lot and all the same shade. This, I've got one ball loose here, because I did pick up an extra ball, is this. It is Rowan. It is felted tweed. There are 50-gram balls, so I've got 11 of them. If I tell you that the pack was just over half the price it should have been originally, this was similarly reduced. So I've got 11 balls of Rowan felted tweed, and it cost me a grand total, find it, well, the total was less than £80. Now, most people know that that is really good price for Rowan yarn. As I say, the fact I was restrained from buying more than one pack of this Rowan Photo Pig because there were two colourways I really liked, and I was like, let's be realistic, what's more practical, more wearable? I have plans for this. This is going to be a really simple raglan cardigan for me because I think the colour fade is going to be amazing. I'm just going to have to work out how I quite do that. I am wondering about whether I do it and steek it. I have steeked in the past, but quite a few years ago, and the my steek actually had a zip in it. But I'm thinking that might make it much easier for me to knit as well because it'll be in the round. There'll be no purling, which would be amazing. So yes, so that's the first pack I picked up. As I say, I picked about 7 or 8 packs up, put things back, pick them up, put it back and forth over a period of about an hour, sitting talking to my friend, what's realistic, what's sensible. Yeah, that's one. I did buy a second one. My second one is this. I'm not really showing it in the plastic, unfortunately, and I am keeping it in the plastic for now. This was well under half price. Let me just show you. Hoping you can see the price there of what it should have been and what it actually is. This is Rowan Denim Revive. So there's the yarn there. I've gone for quite a dark blue with a fleck. This, again, single ball was well under half price. It is, I can't remember what the compensation was. I looked at, they're 50 gram balls. Let's see here. Trying to see what they are. I think they are. I know they're quite short, more meterage. I think they're cotton, but I might be wrong. They feel like a cottony, denim cotton. My plan is to make some sort of summer weight cardigan garment. Not quite sure. It might actually be a bit of a gilet type garment, a bit of a waistcoat that I can throw on at work because of the price this was for what it is. Amazing. They only had the one pack of this. They had a second colourway, and I did look at the second colourway. And I get to say, it was in my basket for quite a while before I decided, and we sat and talked it through and worked out not practical to have that colourway. So yes, 11 balls of that as well. So yes, and I also treated myself to a little tin. You can just see it here. And this contains, I'm hoping I can show you, just some little, see it really very clearly. Some little ring stitch markers. They're all in blues, these ones. The type I like. I really like using these. So yeah, that's not all that's come in though. I think I've had a bit of a blitz because I've got rid of over 3 kilos of yarn in blanket, sister's blanket. I can get yarn in. But I've also, as I said, I've decided not to do any shows this year because I need a break. But I knew that if I don't have something coming in, I'd feel a bit like I'm missing out. I've got no new yarn. I'm missing out. I want to spend money. I wanted to try and be sensible about what I was buying and things. So I've chosen 2 yarn clubs to do this year. So I'll show you what I've chosen and my ideas for them. So my first one, let me find them. Here we go. My first one is the Mouse Witch Yarns mini skeins. I'm actually not going to show you them because I know, because of the way Mandy's doing them, that they're still on sale, and certainly one of these was going to be on sale again at the end of the year because I've got the winter set at the moment. So I have 3 boxes and get them in the right order. So I've got December, January and February. I'll do that way up. Those will be, I think, I also want to know what I'm doing with them. I want to do something with them this year. I'm thinking it's going to be some sort of crocheted squares to make a blanket. I'm just a bit unsure about whether I'm going to do 1 or 2 squares in each colour. I think in terms of layout, 2 is going to be better. Give me more options. So that's the plan for those. Don't ask what I'm going to join them with because I haven't got a clue. But yeah, we'll go there when we get there. I think just get them all made up and then I can do that. My second one is this box. I'm not, why my address is on there, sorry. And yeah, I have to get it redelivered because Mr. Postman, despite it being a box that size, it should go through my letterbox, decided he wasn't putting it through the letterbox. No, I didn't get it redelivered because I got a missed delivery and then I was in the next time it was supposed to be delivered. So this box, when I open it up, contains, this is where I have to struggle to hold things, a little inspiration picture. And this is the Cuddle Bums Mini A Day box set that I've ordered, and it will come every month with the right number of minis for the next month. So the picture, there's her card. There's a couple of stickers in here. Show you them. There's a snowflake, and there's also a cassette. There was a little leaflet with a pattern on, and then under here is 28 different 5 gram mini skeins. These are 5 grams, not 20 grams. There's no way I was going to knit 20 grams a day. I struggled during Advent to knit 1 20-gram Advent a day, which didn't happen. So I wanted something that was practical. I love her colours. I've always loved her colours. I actually have quite a few other 5 gram minis of hers. I need to have a bit of sort out and find how many more I've got, because I have got a plan for these. And my plan for these is to do a mitered square blanket, similar to the Coziest Memory, and there's all sorts of other versions of it out there. I did one 10, 15 years ago now, which I love. It's on my bed. I use it through the winter. Well, it's on my bed all year round. Oh yeah, particularly when it's cold, I snuggle under it over my duvet just because it gives me that extra layer without having to go to a thicker duvet. And as part of that, what I want to do is what I did on mine, which is I actually do the first 2 rows in black, which I find just gives a really nice contrast to the colours, and it just breaks colours up a little bit more, which I personally prefer. I have ordered black sock yarn to do this. I was hoping it would be here, but because I was waiting for Wool Warehouse to have an offer on their merino sock, which they did on the beginning of this week, it was 2 for £10. So I've got 6 balls of that. Hopefully that's going to be enough. And hopefully I'll start it this next week. Yes, I know, another start. But my kind of thought is, this is the sort of thing that once I know how long, when I was doing my big blanket upstairs, it took about, I think I was only taking about 40 minutes per square. These are going to be a little bit bigger because they took 3 grams of yarn. I want to use most of my 5 grams, so I do need to play around a little bit on the counts and work out how many I'm going to do. But yeah, that's my plan, to use all these gorgeous colours. Do I realistically think I'm going to keep up with that? Possibly not at the minute while I've got secret knitting, but then I'm also thinking it may well become something like my Scrappy Sunday, where with my sister's blanket I worked on it on a Sunday. I may well start doing this on a Sunday. I may well not. I don't know. Do I know that will be a gorgeous blanket when it's done? Yes. Do I know I want the blanket? Yes. So yeah, it may well be once I've done the Yorkshire blanket that I then decide to focus on it. I don't know. But that's planned, and that will be happening because I know that the yarn is sitting at the post office waiting for me to go and collect it. I've just not had time in the last couple of days. I wasn't going to be here when it arrived, so it was easy to do it that way. So yeah, my plans for the next couple of weeks. Obviously, I have to get the secret project finished if I want to enter it into the show. This time next 2 weeks' time, it needs to be finished, blocked, and complete and ready to take down. So that is going to have to be my priority. I also want to get my second February stock finished. and work on Katie's February results. Katie is my niece. And then also I'd like to finish the square I'm working on, which is square 3, and get 4 and 5 and 6 done on Wales so that I can get those blocked, or at least be finishing those in 2 weeks' time, ready to block them. And yeah, I'd like to start the Mitre Square because I'm excited about that. But I also need to go back and look at some other projects, see if I can get some more things finished. Because as I say, I do feel that I've got an awful lot of projects up there. A lot of them I've not touched in the last 2 weeks. I did get the 2 fingers finished on the glove. I've just not got it out to show today. I will try and get that out when I've got the second one done. So that also might be something that I then work on once I finish the secret project, because it's a fairly quick win. But does need to be done at home because of the colour work. It gets a bit difficult having lots of colours like knit group because it's very busy. So yeah, that's about it. My plans, we'll see what happens, because I can plan. It doesn't always happen. So hopefully I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.